According to the National Collegiate Athletic Association, there are over 460,000 college athletes under the NCAA today. However, only 40% of those athletes are Division I, with only 70% of those athletes being on any kind of athletic scholarship. That means, on average, only 128,000 of the over 460,000 student athletes that the NCAA oversees are being compensated by the association. However, there is still a large mass of support for paying college athletes, and it comes from the people that would never get to see a penny of it. The NCAA seems to only care how much money it can make for itself and not the actual care of its athletes, especially those that are not in Division I. That means they leave those in Division II and III out while they try to flaunt their propaganda narrative of player safety, modernization, and giving everyone a chance to succeed. Today, we will be discussing what the NCAA wants you to think they're doing, the hypocrisy behind it, and what needs to happen first before athletes get paid. Let's kick off with what they want you to believe. The NCAA paints this picture of being this overseeing body that has every best interest for their athletes in mind, and everyone loves them. And if you've seen their commercials, you know what I'm talking about. They also make it seem like they're moving towards paying athletes, and even passed a notion this fall to move towards compensating their athletes for their likeness. On paper, the NCAA isn't all that bad, and I'm not here to say that they're an evil dictator, but there's a lot of things that they should do that should raise a few more questions than are being asked. In one of their recent commercials, they depict a student athlete buzzing with energy, going to class, working out, playing in a basketball game, doing some studying, and finally going to bed. Now, for starters, this depiction is completely false. Most of us athletes are running on fumes and completely exhausted the majority of the time. That's not the issue I want to raise. In the closing of the commercial, they make the statement, "If you have the talent and dedication to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity," which is then followed by the logo and the phrase, "providing opportunities for life." Now you might say, what's the problem there? The NCAA does give a lot of kids the opportunity to an education that otherwise not been able to afford or provided to them. But that's exactly where it stops. I point you to Donald DeLahaye, the punter and place kicker for the Toronto Argonauts of the Canadian Football League. DeLahaye played his college ball at the University of Central Florida. It was a marketing major. He used the skills he had learned to create a YouTube channel where he vlogged his life as a college athlete. He was popular enough that he was able to eventually monetize and make money from his channel, but was quickly ruled ineligible by the NCAA because of this. You see, they'll give you the opportunity to get into school and graduate with a basic degree, but as soon as an athlete tries to use their platform to do something different and grow their skills, the NCAA shuts it down completely. Donald chose to stick with YouTube and now has over 2 million subscribers, while making a pretty decent amount of money with the Argonauts as well. Now, yes, this was before the NCAA agreed to allow players to profit from their likeness, but there were countless of other players doing the exact same thing as DeLahaye. They just weren't as popular. But does kids having a YouTube channel really hurt the NCAA? No, it doesn't. But it seems like they really don't have a problem bending the rules if it benefits them. According to the NCAA rulebook, a redshirt season is one with which the athlete practices with the team but does not actually see any playing time. This gives an athlete an extra year to participate. That's where the term fifth-year senior often comes in. Now I'm going to explain the rules in regard to football, since that's how I know it best. In Divisions 3, 2, and 1AA, or FCS, where you have your Elons, James Madison, school like that, players are required to not see any playing time in order to receive a red shirt. However, in Division 1 Single A, or FBS, where you have your UNCs, Alabamas, and even UConn, athletes can play in up to 4 games but still receive a red shirt. You see, the NCAA only amended the rule to allow big-time schools the opportunity to change because that's all they needed to get through the media onslaught they were receiving. See, the NCAA does things on a just-get-by basis. John Calipari, national championship-winning basketball coach at the University of Kentucky, called them out on this in an interview after a game in the SEC tournament where he stated, "You wish there was more consistency in the way they do things in the NCAA." The NCAA is notorious for being inconsistent in its decisions, and Calipari doesn't stop there. He has also been quoted to say, "I'm not a fan of the NCAA. I don't think they make decisions for the kids. They make decisions for the bureaucracy and their structure." And he's right. The NCAA doesn't make decisions for their athletes that are in the best interest of all of them, and just the ones that make money. Now, how does this have to do with players getting paid? If the NCAA has a reputation of only helping out the big names, What makes you think that an athlete at a small school like Wingate will ever see a penny of that money? He never will. And that's why other rules need to be changed before the NCAA pays its athletes. Rules like the redshirt rule to allow all divisions to get the same experience in game to not only improve that individual player, but protect against injuries by allowing more kids to get into the game if need be. Oh, and that decision to allow athletes an extra year because of coronavirus, that only applied to big time Division I as well. You see, the NCAA doesn't care about the little man. So why would you support a decision that would never support you in the slightest? Thank you.